In this video, we're going to learn about the array functions. The functions we've learned so far in this course return a single value as an output. Array functions, on the other hand, can return a range or a list of values as an output. This makes array functions a very helpful tool when you're building dynamic dashboards or models where you anticipate new data to come in very frequently and you need a setup that automatically accommodates for new data. In this video, we're going to go through the basics of some commonly used array functions. We're going to start off with a filter function. The filter function helps filter the data. Here I have a data set which contains 3 columns: department, month, and expense. Let's say I want to filter this table and only bring out the data related to the marketing department. I can achieve that using the filter function. So I'm going to write in the filter function. It has 2 mandatory arguments. In the first argument, I need to provide the entire table or the data set or an array that I want the function to work with. So I'm going to provide cell A2 to C73. The second argument asks for what parameters we want the filter function to include in the output that we want to generate. I want the function to return only those rows in this table where department name is marketing. So to input that into the formula, for the second argument, I'm going to select the column of the table that contains the department name. So that is cell A2 to A73, or the first column of the array. And then I'm going to put the equal sign and put marketing. The third argument is optional, so we're going to leave that. And as you can see, the function is going to return the filtered table with only the data for the marketing department. Now let's say if I want to put in multiple conditions and filter the data on multiple parameters, that is also possible. Let's say I want to return a table that only shows marketing department expenses and only shows those months where the expense is higher than 12,000, then we can also do that as well. In the same formula, first of all, I will enclose the first condition into brackets. Then I'm going to put an asterisk sign and create a second condition. For the second condition, I'm going to give reference to column C, or the third column, because this column contains the expense. And for the condition, I'm going to put greater than 12,000. So basically what the formula is doing over here is that it's taking the entire table from cell A2 to C73. It's looking at the first column, which is cell A2 to A73, and filtering out only the marketing department data. And then it's looking at column C and only gonna pick up the rows where the expense is higher than 12,000. And there we go, we have the answer. Also from this example, you would have noticed how array functions are different from the functions that we learned in the previous lessons. The previous functions, like SUMIF or lookup functions, return answer that can be contained in one particular cell. But array functions return an output that spans across multiple cells. This also means that for these functions to work properly, they will need sufficient space nearby in order to return the output. Let me explain by help of an example. Let's say I'll go to this cell and I'm going to put in some data here. Now in the filter function, I'm going to remove the second condition. Since we have removed the second condition, the filter function is now going to try to return all the rows from the array that relate to marketing department, which means that it will need more space to spill the data. Now if I press enter, it will return a spill error. And if I put my cursor on the spill error, it will give you a visual indication of what's happening. Basically, it's telling you that for the function to return the output, it needs all this amount of space. However, since there's already some pre-populated data there, the function cannot return the answer. If I go ahead and delete this data, it will return the result. To further solidify our understanding, let's work with a few more array functions. Let's say I want to get a unique list of department names from the first column of this table. I can do that using the unique function. So let's type in unique and give reference to the entire column. In future, if a new department name gets added to the list, let's say we add research over here, the function is automatically going to update the list as well. Now let's look into another example. Let's say I want to return this entire table, but I want it to be sorted in the descending order of the expense column. This can be achieved by using the sort function. So let me give a heading over here for sort function and write in the sort formula. In the first argument, I'm going to provide the entire table, which is cell A2 to C73. In the second argument, which is the sort index, I need to provide the reference to the column which I want the function to use to sort the data. So in this case, I want the table to be sorted by expense, and expense is the third column in the provided array. So I'm going to put in 3, and then I'm going to put in the sort order. I want to sort it by descending order. So put in -1 and then close the formula. So as you can see, the function has returned the entire table, but this time it has sorted in the descending order of the expense. We can also bring in the first row. If I give the reference to the full array, including the headers, it will return the headers as well. So in this video, we've covered some basics of the array functions and how they differ from the traditional functions that return a single value answer. We also practice a few exercises to build familiarity. In part 2, we're going to take this further and apply the array functions in more detail when we're going to be building the models.